Mr. President, today the United States Supreme Court announced its decision on SB 1070, the controversial Arizona immigration law. The court, including conservative justices Anthony Kennedy and John Roberts, agreed with the Obama administration that a state cannot set up its own immigration enforcement system. As a result, the Supreme Court today struck down several parts of the Arizona law, including the provision that would have made it a crime in Arizona to be an undocumented immigrant, and the provision that would have required legal immigrants to carry documents proving their legal status at all times. The Supreme Court is right. States do not have the right under the Constitution to enact immigration laws that contradict federal law. I am troubled that the Supreme Court upheld one of the provisions in that law in Arizona, Section 2B, which requires Arizona police officers to check the immigration status of suspected undocumented immigrants. So what's the basis for reasonable suspicion that the person they pulled over is, in fact, an undocumented immigrant? Well, the guidance on the law issued in the state of Arizona says that police officers should consider things such as how a person is dressed or their ability to communicate in English. Earlier this year, I held a hearing on racial profiling in my subcommittee, the Judiciary Committee on Constitution, Civil Rights, and Human Rights. It was the first hearing on racial profiling since before 9/11. One of the witnesses at my hearing was Ron Davis. He's the chief of police in East Palo Alto, California. Chief Davis, along with 16 other law enforcement officials and the major city's chiefs of police association, filed a brief in the Arizona case. In their brief, the police chiefs say, and I quote, "The statutory standard of reasonable suspicion of unlawful presence in the United States will, as a practical matter, produce a focus on minorities and specifically Latinos," end of quote. Two former Arizona attorneys general, joined by 42 other former state attorneys general, filed an amicus brief in the Arizona case, and they said, I quote, "Application of the law in Arizona requires racial profiling," end of quote. I agree with these law enforcement experts. I'm confident that Section 2B will eventually be struck down as the other provisions were in the Arizona law. Arizona law is the wrong approach for America. It is amazing to me how this nation of immigrants, of which we are all part of the family, has struggled for so long to deal with the whole issue of immigration. I think it is wrong to treat people like criminals simply because of their immigration status. And it's not right to make criminals of people who literally go to work every day, cooking our food, cleaning our rooms, and caring in nursing homes for our children, daycare centers for our children, nursing homes for our parents and grandparents. Here's the reality. Treating immigrants like criminals will not help combat illegal immigration. Law enforcement doesn't have the time or the resources to prosecute and incarcerate every undocumented immigrant among the 10 or 11 million in this country. Making undocumented immigrants into criminals simply drives them into the shadows. That's why the Arizona Association of Chiefs of Police opposes the Arizona law considered by the court today. They say it'll make it more difficult for them to make Arizona a safe place. Immigrants are less likely to cooperate with the police if they fear they're going to get arrested for even trying to help.